evening, guys. My name is Crystal. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome old subscribers, welcome new. If you like my videos, please press the like button. Please do subscribe. Here am I at my flat this evening in Rochester. Alexa, what's the time, please?
The time is 6:21 p.m.
I've just been watching the news and the arrest warrant out for Vladimir Putin. Although everyone still keeps saying Putin, I say it Putin. I haven't spoken to my mum today. I keep missing my mum Jennifer up there in Durrell Gardens, Chatham, bless her. I need to find out whether she's received her Mother's Day card and her perfume. I hope she has. I do hope my mum's received her present. Yeah, I'm still here at this flat. Right, so, what was I going to say? Yeah, I've got to take Max out a bit later on, in the dark, obviously. Right, so Tony Robinson, The Worst Jobs in History. I've been reading through this book. So it goes through the Middle Age worst jobs, Tudor worst jobs, Stuart worst jobs, Georgian worst jobs, Victorian worst jobs. So I think should we start with the Roman worst jobs? A puke collector. There are two facts that most people know about Roman banquets. One, that the participants
From History.com. Roman banquets feature delicacies such as wild boar, mussels, oysters, pheasant and deer.
Thank you very much. She interrupted and I never said Alexa. So a puke collector. There are two facts that most people know about Roman banquets. One, that the participants ate dormice in honey, and two, that they popped off to a room called the vomitorium to throw the dormice up in order to make room for the next course. Actually, only one of these so-called facts is true. The Romans did eat dormice, drizzled with honey and lightly garnished with poppy seeds, after a slave had gutted and stuffed them. But there was no such place as a vomitorium in a Roman house. A vomitorium was a corridor in an amphitheatre, so called because it enabled thousands of Romans to spew out onto the street in a matter of minutes. Roman aristocrats may not have had a specially named room to throw up in, but throw up they did. Nero's mentor, the philosopher Seneca, said of the Romans that they vomit so that they may eat, and eat so that they may vomit. Cicero, in one of his letters, describes how Caesar avoided an assassination attempt. He expressed a desire to vomit after dinner. Vomir post cenam tivel dixis. But instead of going to the bathroom where his assassins were lying in wait, he went to his bedroom and threw up there. Much of the evidence suggests that Roman diners didn't even bother to leave the room when they wanted to make themselves sick. They vomited into specially provided bowls that had been thoughtfully laid out for them, or else they simply spewed on the floor. And trotting round after the guests, or crawling under the couches on which they reclined, was the puke collector. This isn't simply the writer's over-vivid imagination. Another passage of Seneca refers to the charmingly sophisticated habit of spitting and throwing up at table. Cum ad canadum discabuimus alias sputa deteget, alias reliquias tem ulentorum subditus collegit. When we recline at a banquet, one slave wipes up the spittle, another situated beneath collects the leavings, i.e. vomit, of the drunks. Epistulae Morales 47.5. What a truly revolting job, wiping up acrid smelling cocktails of food, lumpy mixtures of Falernian wine, roast meats, the ubiquitous Roman sauce made of fermented fish, and of course semi-digested dormice. Trimalchio's Banquet is one of the most famous parts of the Satyricon by Petronius. It is a comic romance that was composed during the reign of Nero, i.e. at the same time Roman culture was being introduced to Britain, and was intended to poke fun at the excesses of the vulgar freedman Trimalchio, an ex-slave with money. It is a prime source for our information about dormice in honey. It also gives a vivid picture of the way slaves had to do everything for their masters. But at least the puke collectors had a roof over their heads and the luxury of Roman central heating. When the last bloated guests had finally retired for the night and the puke collectors were scrubbing the last blobs of congealed dormouse fat from their master's golden tableware, did they perhaps spare a thought for those even less fortunate than themselves, the wet, shivering wretches in some far-off land who mined the raw materials used to make their golden washing up? Right, guys, so yeah, I'm quite happy in my flat, reading books, listening to the radio, watching the TV, and obviously getting now and then Facebook messages. People trying to message me on Facebook Messenger, calling themselves a witch. And obviously someone's got access to someone's tablet and is randomly sending masses and masses of Facebook Messenger messages under different aliases, and sending pictures of all sorts of things which I don't even open because I can't be bothered to anymore and I'm not really interested. I won't be getting angry over the weekend because I'm an adult and I've grown up and I don't do stupid things. I don't get cross. I'm a middle-aged woman that has a disability, which is chronic pain. Right? A woman, a WOMAN. And I haven't got any taxis. The last taxi that I arrived at my flat in was on Tuesday when I go and visit my mum at Durrell Gardens. And I'm a 54-year-old woman that gets a taxi because I suffer from chronic pain. Not because of any other reason. And I got taxis up to the Medway Maritime Hospital, to the gynecology department that were paid for by the hospital. And they were two Asian drivers, and one of them was bearded like my father, Derek. I know someone's got a lovely, fantastic imagination, sense of humour, but I don't look anything like a man. I'm not a man, and I won't tolerate any bullshit. I am not going to get cross, throw my toys out of the pram, whatever happens this weekend. I'm a grown adult. If people want to park on the pavement and they want to be stupid and yell abuse out of car windows, they can do it without myself getting angry, and I will just ignore it and tape it where necessary. I do hope everyone has a lovely weekend. Do remember your mums, everybody, because it's a mum that brought us into this world. Men can't give birth. But I'm afraid some bullies, look at me and they take the piss and laugh, But you know, I've seen people with my hairstyle. I've seen people with the style of my clothes on. And you know, if I'm so whatever, you know, it's nice to be copied. See you later.